But yeah, I would like to hear about some of the other things you're doing, Chris. When I was investigating you a couple years ago, I ran across some.
Yipes.
Oh yeah. Not investigating, but yeah, checking up on the quote competition, but it's actually not so much competition. Yeah, I heard something about New Jersey Film School. You've got some writing credits, some film credits. You're more than just MoviePoet.
Well, I'm very blessed. I started a production company about 10 years ago, Offstage Films, and we've made a bunch of films, and filmmaking is really my first love, and through doing that, I started teaching at night school. After I did that for a while, I started speaking at high schools and grammar schools about filmmaking, and I realized that I loved that just about as much as filmmaking, and so a little over a year ago, I quit my corporate job and opened NJ Film School, which is a little small studio in New Jersey, and we offer filmmaking classes for kids, teens, and adults. We do everything from screenwriting to filmmaking, directing, editing, special effects, acting, and it's been awesome.
I think that's really great. I have one question about that. Are any of those students, or are they from MoviePoet, or do you pick them up or get them from somewhere else?
I've had about half a dozen students come to NJ Film School through MoviePoet, but the vast majority of them are just people who live in New Jersey or near New Jersey and are interested in filmmaking. Some of them just as a hobby, and about half of our students are adults. The other half are, like I said, kids and teens, and we all just have a love of movies. And the whole independent film world is just turning upside down these days with what you can do. Just 10 years ago, none of this was really possible, and now it is. And it's exciting to be able to kind of share that enthusiasm with people in person. I'm so used to doing it through the internet. It's really fun to get together with people and actually hang out and make some films.
Did you ever think about taking that show or class, whatever you want to call it, on the road and go other places?
We have a class that we do called the Crash Course, which is a weekend class where we bring in 2 professional actors from the city, and then our class comes in and we make a short film, and the class works as the crew. And so I've been thinking about doing that class, finding maybe some bed and breakfasts around the country, and maybe doing 2 or 3 of those a year in other parts of the country. I think that would be a lot of fun. So hopefully in the next year or so, I'll be launching that, but we'll see.
Definitely keep me on your mailing list, Chris.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I do appreciate you send me monthly. He's been winning the MoviePoet contest. I'm thrilled to put him up. I'm even more thrilled when folks who go to both sites do well. What's interesting is that a lot of the screenplay coverage sites, where they make their money by doing coverage of screenplays.
Right.
It's a very competitive business. And I was talking to one guy, and I was telling him how on my end with where we try to showcase unproduced scripts and new writers, that actually we're very collegial and work together to promote each other, because we're trying to read neat stuff that people are writing, and for us the biggest thrill is that somebody who's been on our site gets produced, and he says it's so very different from his environment where it's really kind of dog eat dog, and so I do encourage everyone who's listening to this that if they're on the SimplyScripts discussion board and they've done they participated in MoviePoet or Done Deal or any of those other screenwriting sites that help writers, tell us about it. I certainly don't want to keep somebody just on SimplyScripts. I think that a lot of folks have kind of graduated out of the site and have gone on to other things, and MoviePoet being one of the greatest landing spots for folks to really shine, as exhibited by folks like Mattias and a lot of the writers who've participated and done really well. So
I appreciate that, and I'm a big fan of all the sites, especially like yours where the sites are free. I am always very cautious and warn people all the time about. There's so many sites out there for screenwriters where I feel like they're interested in your money first, and I think you really have to be careful of those. Especially a lot of the coverage people. Because they make their money on telling you very often what you want to hear.
Right.
And not all of them. I'm not trying to disparage the whole industry or something like that. But it's the same thing with contests. There's some really scary contests out there where it's just Pia mentioned a contest earlier where they're just collecting thousands of dollars from hundreds of people, and I don't know that people are getting their dollars worth in the end. Yeah,
and I try to tend to, I'm the same way. As I try to tend to emphasize those contests to give some kind of coverage, so that you get something back from the contest. And that's also one reason why, and I think for same with MoviePoet is that the SimplyScripts 1 week challenge, like the MoviePoet, it's completely free to enter. And actually we don't call ours a contest, we call it a challenge because there are no winners. We all win if we participate. And it just gives people a chance to kind of emulate that writing under pressure experience.
Well, that's actually an interesting point. I mean, I just realized that, I have the webmasters of SimplyScripts and MoviePoet here, and talking about other sites, Circle.it has seemed to come on in the past couple months. I think it's been around maybe 3 or 4 months, not counting the special invite beta version, and that's kind of a hybrid where you have a site where people are allowed to post their scripts. It's absolutely free to do so. Feedback is given. It's not anonymous, whose script you're commenting on, things like that. But there is some sort of a prize at the end, and there's ranking systems and things like that. And I was just wondering what you guys thought of that format, given the way you run your own websites.
Well, I have 2 thoughts on that, and some like I said, some personal experiences to go along with sites like that. Not necessarily Circle.it, but I was in a contest a while ago when Our Stage first came out, and I had a film on there, and there was a prize. And what was happening there were about 75 films in this contest, and what would happen is your film would, because Our Stage constantly shows you where you are in the contest, whatever film would move into first place would be there for about 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes later it would drop down to about 50th place because everyone would attack it. Because everyone wanted to win. So just like SimplyScripts, I've had offers for sponsors to have prizes for my contest. But to me, while I would love to be able to give out the prizes, I worry a lot about turning a win at MoviePoet into some big thing where if someone could win something that's worth a lot of money, or it's something that makes it so important that people feel like they have to win this thing.
Right.
That now you're affecting the quality of the feedback, and hopefully, just like SimplyScripts, I think we're very much like sister sites. I mean, the spirit is about community and about honing your craft much more than it is about stomping the competition. Although certainly it's always nice to win.
Absolutely, that
actually,
was well said.
Chris, that is actually right. Actually, Chris, to that point is that when I at least on the SimplyScripts one, it's a selected script. It's not a winning script. And as a matter of fact, the last one we did for Halloween, my 9-year-old son was the one who selected the winner because it was a juvenile. The scripts were supposed to be written for someone in his age category. And I went through and read through them all and, weeded out the ones that had just really freaky stuff in it.
Right.
And I gave him 8 of these scripts. And I think Pia saw the picture of him going through these. And he read them and he picked the winning script. Not the winning script, but the script that was supposed to be selected. So I try to downplay the whole contest thing and upplay. It's all about, it's all about the writing and doing the best you can.
I didn't enter that one because it was too family friendly.
Yeah.
Well, Don, you and I must have been separated at birth or something because about 2.5 years ago we had a family friendly script contest at MoviePoet, and it's the only one that I let my daughter read all the scripts on and vote on. She was 11 at the time.
Yeah.
She didn't decide the winner, but we had that same kind of that idea once.
Yeah, that was very cool. And I remember that contest, and it was excellent to get feedback from her on that script.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I remember it too. I just can't remember which one it was.
You entered a script called Help from Above.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, well, we are in overtime, so I am going to go ahead and close things out on this episode. I'd like to thank Don, Michael, and Pia for being on the panel tonight, and I'd like to thank Chris Messineo of MoviePoet.com for being our guest tonight and, doing a wonderful job answering all of our questions and being an all-around good guy. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Thanks, Chris.
No sudden death.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Oh, this is fantastic.